whole bunch of my life. But for real, man. Look, you ready for it?
Yes, indeed.
What is up, and welcome to another episode of the Miseducation of Music. You are here with J-Treb as always, but today I got a special guest in the building. I got Teddy with me, man.
Yo, what's up?
We got rapper, creator, half of Urban Legend.
Yes, indeed.
Urban Legend. We're gonna talk about that too.
All right, we're gonna talk
I was
about
diving
Urban
on the SoundCloud, bro, before this one.
Ooh.
But my man, how are you doing? What's up? Welcome.
Oh man, I'm chilling. It's good to be here. Thank you for inviting me, man.
Oh, not a problem, man.
Yes,
I got to
indeed.
put people on to the good music, man. So I want to just first start off. You dropped a dope project called BTS The Teddy Show. That was my first exposure. I think shout out Fresh Dolo, TJ Stokes.
Yeah.
He reposted you on the story. He's one of the funniest comedians. He reposted you on the story, and I was like, who is this dude rapping by the lake going crazy? And I think the track was Tuesday there.
Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite tracks. We was talking about that right before we started. Now, that was the first video I think I saw of you on there. Like, that was kind of the promotional for all of this. Like, what was the inspiration behind it? What was the idea? Like, what made you go crazy with all of this, man?
As far as the video for Tuesday, that short thing, that was just trying to be creative, just trying to get out of the house. You know, we were free from the pandemic, so just trying to get out of the house and record and get some content going.
Did you expect for like as many like people to just look at it and actually just start becoming fans right there?
I didn't, not at all.
Because I know that all that whole like group of people over there, all of the comedians that he was friends with, like everybody was reposting too.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, like this is insane.
That was big love. Big love from the comedian. Yo, they were showing love.
The comedians in the city are dope, bro. They show love over here.
Man. Those guys, they're close. They're close knit, and it shocked me how much love and support they show. And even Fresh
for your little creative getting out the crib project.
Yeah, it's just something simple. It garnered so much attention. It even Fresh he did a verse for a remix on it. So
shit,
we're gonna get that going,
bruh. Come on, man.
He spit something too.
Come on, I didn't even know he can spit.
It was shocking. There's a lot of people like, yo, you know, we got to do something.
Bro, come on, no, I got to hear this. I can't wait for that one to drop now. Okay, so that was, just to loop back here, that was your little like creative project, breaking out of quarantine. Indeed. Were you already working on this project at that point?
Yes, I've been working on this project for about 2 years.
So pre-pandemic?
Yes.
Okay, whoa. Okay, so how did the pandemic affect it? We could dive into that question already.
Well, so when I was in school, I was basically just trying to train myself up for the BTS.
Just kind of getting ready for that exact album right there.
Yes. And then I started with the Urban Legend thing. So you said we'll get into that.
Yeah, you and Jupiter. I was gonna ask how that even started, but I think we naturally got into it.
Yeah, you want me to go at it? I met him through Instagram. Okay. It was like right before the pandemic or whatever, and we just hit it off. He liked my music, I liked his music, and I wanted to kind of get my skills up as far as mixing and things like that. So we just connected, and I just mixed his first project, and he came up to Chicago. We recorded it in about 2 days, and then I mixed it for like the next month. And by the time, we also shot a video for a song called Central Park.
Okay.
And he was featured on that song, and the chemistry was just there. It was
like, yeah, no, we about to do a project. We got to make some more music. We got to do something right here.
Man. And it just flowed from there. Like he has a great voice. Okay. Great voice. And
I agree, bro. It was crazy just to hear you all going back and forth in these tracks. Like it was dope. It seemed like it was two people who were having fun in the studio sessions together.
It was
and you know, I don't want to skate over it. You said you was mixing for them, and you also mix. Like right. You mentioned you went to school and you were working on this during that time. So what'd you go to school for? If you want to let the people know where you went to school.
I went to school at Columbia. It was a daunting task.
Yeah, it's interesting, man, because look, I'm self-taught for everything. Indeed. I got here because I think it is daunting to go to school for it.
Yes.
Like, I feel like I could have never even taken the step to be like, let me go jump into some school for it. I learned everything at the crib.
It would have been better done at the crib, like learning.
Whoa, that's interesting.
Because going to school for it, you kind of have to take all of these classes that really doesn't have anything to do with mixing. And then to kind of finish it out, you do like 3 classes in mixing.
Damn, so it's like you might have got more practical at the crib.
I learned better like in a class environment. That's why I went.
And that's actually really dope that you even understood that about yourself. Like just knowing that was the environment that you needed to, learn the materials.
It took a while.
Damn.
It took a while to kind of figure it out. And once I got in there, I felt like I didn't fit into the school environment. So I was pretty introverted. I didn't like branch out and try to work with a lot of people, even though I did make some connects there. It still mostly came from online and things that I could have done without school. So
exactly. So it kind of makes you go like, man, I could have been at the crib, met all the same people,
yep,
made all the same stuff. But so when you were going to school, did you know you were also trying to rap, or was it exclusively to get into engineering? Like, was it one of those things where you was just trying to get some studios and make the music for other people, and then you accidentally figured out you was trying to rap with it? Or
nah, I've been rapping for a while.
Yeah,
I have been rapping. 90. That was my first name. That good stuff.
I'm trying to tell people Black Chicago Narwhal, but what were you saying?
90. I started off as 90, just rapping, and once I noticed that a lot of engineers that I was running into, they were just kind of taking my money. They weren't really.
Wait, so was it all birthed out of the necessity of trying not to get stained?
That's it. I mean, eventually, the money I spent on school, I could have just kept going to different studios.
Hey, well, at least you put it into yourself, so now you can record your shit at the crib.
Right. Invest in myself, right?
That's what's up.
So I just basically, I was like, okay, maybe I could do it better myself. And then coming out of school, I started recording other people. I thought that I would enjoy it more than I did. But everybody I heard,
how was the experience?
Another daunting task.
As a rapper, did you find it hard to listen to the other rap? Like, is that the aspect of it? Because you're just like, I kind of want to fix all your stuff, but then at that point, I could have just made my own track.
100%.
Wow. Okay, it was like, cool. Hit it on the head. Didn't mean to.
it was like all of this time and effort. It could be better spent on my own music.
Definitely.
And that's kind of how I birthed Urban Legend with Jupiter. Like, it just really came from wanting to do things ourselves,
Exactly.
He wanted to do things himself as well. He had been doing music and just trying to figure things out and navigate through the underground. We just found each other and it just worked out.
Man, that's what's up, because it leads back into the behind the scenes project.
Yes, sir.
Now, what's the theme behind this project besides the obvious title of Behind the Scenes? And then I know you got the track that was a single, Truman. And Truman. I wonder, does that have like a lot more to do with it than people might be thinking? Like the whole Truman comparison there with the behind the scenes?
Yes, Truman is how I look at life in general.
Man, which is a great movie for those of you who do not know, man. The Truman Show with Jim Carrey. He's literally a guy who's on a TV show, but he was raised on the TV show. So he has no clue. And people are doing these product placements throughout his life. He honestly, once he figures it out, he just doesn't know it's real anymore. Yeah. And that's the craziest part of all of it, where you're just like, am I in a TV show? Like, if you did not ask yourself that at the end of the movie, I don't think you watched it for real.
You couldn't have.
Like, because at the end of it, you get to it, you're just like, whoa, wait, hold up. Let me just double check and make sure.
100%, man. It was like, that whole idea and concept that, man, wait, is all this real? It just carried over into what I wanted to do for the Teddy show. It was like, kind of like everything I've been through in life. Like, is this shit real? Like, am I really going through this
right now?
There's some very questionable things that happen in my life.
Sometimes when that happens, I like to look at my friends and I'll just be like, yo, like, we're living in a shitty movie.
Man.
Like we're living, like we're the punchline. Like, we're these characters in this shitty movie. Has to be.
And it just, the whole ideology of kind of figuring out what's real and what isn't. Even through relationships and things like that.
Definitely.
I just kind of wanted to carry it over. And as I was finding my way in music, I thought that would be an interesting way to start. Like, because I've done music in the past and I didn't put a lot of feeling in it. I was just kind of rapping.
It was just whatever the words were coming up.
Right.
See, and I feel like that emotional aspect of adding something that you're kind of calling back to that is a real moment, you attach something different to the word.
Yeah.
And it comes through. It comes through when you're listening to it, because, I mean, and oh my God, one of my favorite bars, I like to write down my favorite bars from the project. You got one where you say, they might escape the heat, but they just not Artemis. They foul, though.
Ooh.
Like, bruh, these bars, these little, like, taglines, like, you could tell that, like, that's something that like meant something to you. It's like you're calling back to something that's more relevant to your life because it's the comfortability when you get that bar off, or even how you just had the little reaction right there. Like you knew you got that bar off. Nobody had to tell you you did. And that's so dope and that's so crazy. How was it in the creation of it? Because I mean, so it's a decent project. This is you got like a 33-minute joint going, and it starts off with this beautiful like clouds opening. Like, what's the story we're following there?
So, in retrospect, it was supposed to be more of a story album or a project tape, but eventually I just kind of organized it in a way that I felt better musically.
Okay, so it was organized sonically as opposed to for the story.
Right.
Man, you might have to drop a little playlist online where it's just like, hey, this is the way you can listen to it if you want to know the story.
Right. Clouds in particular, that song, it came about like after, like it was during the pandemic, and it was like it's a real song. I was just kind of working at a studio, and I ended up catching a big L. Like, you know, people just ran up on me and took what I had. So, like, and that kind of showed me, like, man, what am I, like, again, am I in a fucking movie?
Like, this cannot be real. This is not my life at this moment.
Right. Sorry. Can I curse it?
Yeah, no, you're all good. You're all good.
I was just wondering if I was in a movie, you know, because it was almost laughable how it happened, you know? And I was, of course, happy to make it and survive and move forward from it. But it kind of showed me more that I should just get out here and finish this project and do this music.
Because it's like, bruh, it didn't have to end that way real quick.
Man.
So, you know, let me go ahead and finish this little bit of music I've been working on.
So Clouds had to kind of kick it off. Like,
definitely.
Like I think it built the landscape. And just kind of moving forward, I wanted to showcase the skill and everything.
Definitely. Which, man, when you get to swing.
Oh, man, you rock with that one.
Man, come on. You was having fun on that beat.
That one was super fun, man.
Did you do the production here? So what's the production on the album?
The production is mostly like I said, I didn't make a lot of connections at first in person, in the physical. So a lot of those beats came from like BeatStars and
okay, gotcha.
Just finding people on Instagram.
Whatever you can find. Hey, I feel that.
And whatever movie.
You made good selections.
I appreciate
especially for that, because it feels like I would have thought it was either like a few producers or all produced by you because of the fact that it's coherent, you know?
Oh, damn, I appreciate
so like that's what's up, man. Good selections on the beats.
I was hoping that somebody would catch that.
I mean, yeah, no, like it's definitely a good way that it flows.
Indeed,
so like for these tracks, you were talking about how like some of these are just, you got to show them the skill.
Yes.
Like, and I was talking about the swing track. You did a video for that one too. And that video might be my favorite one. I'm going to get it on the screen for everybody on YouTube. Because, bro, you got the cockiness of the bar. The way you looked into the camera, it was crazy, man. Now, you film all of this stuff yourself? Like, this film shot, edited? What's the process for you on these?
I gotta throw a big shout out to the wife. She's like,
hey,
she really holds it down behind the camera. Like, she's always at least there to make sure that sometimes I use a drone, so she at least makes sure that the drone isn't swaying too much.
Hey,
so
make sure I'm in focus. Hey, that's what's up, man.
Big shout out to the wife. I love you.
That's what's up, man. So it's just two-person team out there?
Yeah. We try to keep it very simple. Again, I'm a family man, so I'm more introverted than I should be as an artist.
Hey, no, dude, there's no levels to it, bro. Like, it's one of the things where you could be an artist and you could be at the crib the whole time. Like,
I do everything from the crib.
Yes,
edit the videos and everything.
Exactly.
And I try to set a mood in the videos. Something purple. Purple is like a mood to me.
I was about to say there's a purple tint on all of it.
Just purple it up. You know?
What's the meaning of the purple for you?
The whole Teddy thing, I wanted to move away from. Like I said, I started off rapping pretty aggressively.
Yeah.
Even when I was trying to be like rap about my feelings, it was very
take it
aggressive.
back to the tracks like the Hills,
right?
Things like that.
So, really went back, man. Hills was like my first attempt at singing, and I actually did that at Classic Studios. And
hey, shout out Classic. We were talking about them too earlier.
Cole recorded me, and he did his thing, man. Because I I didn't see the vision when we were recording it. I was like, man, I can't sing. What do you got me in here doing?
He was like, just do it. Man, you got to trust the engineer sometimes.
Sometimes
you got to trust the engineer.
Trust the engineer. Like, they know.
It's like they are already thinking about the mix. You're thinking about how stupid you sound in the room.
Exactly. Exactly. And so that just kind of came together. And like I said, I was trying to be aggressive behind everything I rapped. I figured that if I rapped aggressively and up tempo,
you'd get it.
It just be.
You'll feel me if I really scream these words.
And it wasn't until I slowed things down, like on Tuesday. And
that track is a vibe. It's slow. It's got the cruise to it, or even Truman. It's like these tracks have that vibe. They have that ease. Now, to talk about some other tracks that might not, you got some tracks now, man. I'm gonna tell you right now. Make this money, you little eye. But bro, I sing that all the time. First of all, it's a perfect song for Halloween. Great season for the track.
Oh man.
But and I was actually just using it as a segue to get to the fact that and man, I love this track so much.
Yeah.
So good. But I want to use it as a transition. You got features on here for someone who talked about not having a lot of connections.
Oh, man.
For someone who talked about making these connections in the ways you've made the connections. The project does have quite a few features on there.
Yes, a couple features.
How did you go about getting these features here?
My boy Rob, I've known him for a while. We kicked it back in the Army days.
Oh yeah, thank you for your service as well. You are a veteran.
It. I'm a veteran. I'm a veteran. So I met Rob there, and we started freestyling. We were overseas together, and we were freestyling. And this guy, man, he can rap. Like he can rap, and he can fucking rap.
It's one of those people where it's like, man, why aren't you recording every day? Man, he's one of those people,
man. And you know, like I said, shout out to him. The other features kind of just came from just knowing a CEO, he can rap. I met him online through Instagram.
AO Tunes.
AO Tunes. Shout out AO Tunes. He just dropped a single. Shout out AO Tunes.
Shout out.
He can rap as well. He kind of has this. We kind of match ideologies. We kind of think the same way. So for AO Tunes, he heard the original version of Poor. And
he was like, bro, I got something different.
He like, bro, I got something for you, man. He like, I already wrote it. And I was like, all right, well, let's go. Let's try. Let's see what it's like. In my head, I was like, man, he's probably one of these guys who just want to be on the song. He not going to give me.
It's like he ain't about to give 100. He just trying to get on the project.
But he did his thing on that.
He did, bro. Hey, he did his thing. And then I also, through your stories, how I found out more about him. Because you was reposting. And I was like, oh, no, he going crazy.
Yeah,
like,
man.
He has some more in the chamber.
Man. and when he dropped that tape, he turn up. He do his thing.
Man, come on,
he
man.
Really
you gonna be
got
on there too?
He really
Can you get an exclusive? You gonna be on there somewhere?
Well,
maybe not.
It's yet to see. We'll see.
Okay,
we'll see.
Man.
We'll
okay.
See. And I had plans for more features.
Okay.
The album, I intentionally left a few of the songs incomplete because it just, again, it's kind of like the Truman Show. It's like, well, what's
behind the scenes?
This is behind the scenes.
This is the part where the light falls from the ceiling. And you look down and go,
exactly.
Well, that light's there. Or you're noticing that the radio ain't working right. And you're tuning into the PAs and not the radio station.
Exactly. You really put it in perspective, man. I love that. I love that. It's to be continued. It's to be seen how this, to reach a resolution. You know, we'll see how it goes. And when I do drop the Teddy show, I hope to really pull it all together. So
that's what's up. That's what's up.
I wanted to just kind of introduce people to me as a person.
That's what's up, G.
And we just took it from there.
I want to talk a little bit now about the recording process.
Okay, cool.
Teddy wants to make a track.
Yes, sir.
You about to sit down and make a track. Are we going beat first? Do we got words first? You open up a project and just stare at some 808s and see what happens? What's the vibe for when you start recording?
I guess it all depends. A lot of times I just make a concept to it. I write it down.
Okay, so it's like a lyrical concept is where it all comes from.
And then once I have the concept, if it sticks, then as I'm going through life, I listen to beats randomly. People send me beats. I have friends that make beats. I'll pick it based on how the song goes.
This feels like right now.
Right. And if it fits, it fits. It's kind of hard to pick the beat first.
Ooh.
because
why do you find that hard? Because you gotta. Does life have to happen in the lyrics for the music to even happen?
Yes.
Okay.
If I pick the beat first, I find myself forcing the lyrics.
Ooh. Do you force it to whatever the beat kind of suggests?
Yes.
Ooh,
that's
man.
why you'll find
deep.
me.
That's an interesting way to listen. You really be listening to these beats. I feel you.
Like, for instance, the song Diamonds.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the freestyle,
it's
man.
just I just kind of rap on
Just had to eat.
Just found the beat, and I was like, this beat is hard. Let me rap.
That sounded like good, like 2 a.m. energy, like some, I'll go to bed right after this one. And then just like right on the mic, I like have to spit everything out of my brain.
Wrote it and rapped it same night.
Oh,
it's one of those types of deals.
You can hear it. You can feel it. It's like, and it's called a freeze. It's like, I was like, that's what that is. It's right there. I was like, you did it in one sitting because it was just that cold. So like, was that one where you were almost like, I just heard the beat and now I knew it was, how did it become project worthy, I guess is the question.
As I was listening to, I put a playlist together just to kind of see how I wanted to organize
How many got cut?
There was about 6 songs that got cut.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
I had 17 songs. I had 17 songs, and including the ones that I just recently dropped, that were just kind of like, okay, I don't want it to lean any particular way. I didn't want the project to lean any particular way.
And those would have given it too concise of a movement.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And that's actually the direction I want to go in now. It's a far stretch from what the album is. Interesting.
So the singles that would have made the album too deep are now what's going to lead to the next project.
Absolutely.
Man, okay.
Things like Swing, I was playing the drums and
is that you on drums?
No.
Shit, I was supposed to say, gee, what?
Producer named Swiss Frankie created that.
Okay.
But those drums, it was something that I could play along with. And,
I was the vibe to the bro, come on, that shit go too stupid. It's so boom bap. But
I just heard Swiss Beats yelling on it or something. Like, it was crazy.
It's almost like a boom bap, but there's like this little swing at the end. And I was like, it's the perfect name for the track, too.
Perfect.
It's the perfect name for the track.
It just came, and like even with that, the concept was there. I was thinking about Barry Bonds and how he's great.
Like nigga Barry Bonds
and he's just kind of like, they kind of try to push him aside for some personal reasons, and the same thing was happening with Sha'Carri Richardson, and I was just like, this would be a good vibe, and the beat, I just came across the beat, and like you said, that
game over.
The way those drums were going,
they go back and forth, bro. And look, hey man, you gotta hear that track. Pause the podcast right now, give it a listen, come back. You'll get what I'm talking about. You'll get what I'm talking about, because the way that they just go back and forth with that, like, man, it's like, I don't know how you found the pocket you found. It was one of those where it was just like, man, you really like caught it right there on the piano, and you rode that vibe the whole song.
Yes,
man.
Indeed. I appreciate that.
Man, you got really creative within that. Like, that's a super creative thing to just play around with the title, play around with the words, play around with the time period, G. Now, with all of that creativity, how do you like foster that? How do you take care of that creativity? How do you make sure it's available for when you got those beats and those tracks that can hit all those points at the same time? Like, how do you make sure you're taking care of it? Are you a meditator? Listen to some whole different type of music? What's the vibes?
With that, I listen to other genres.
What's some of them?
I'd say that I listen to a lot of soul, like soul and jazz, funk.
Ooh,
I love funk,
bro. Don't get me started on the funk. Bootsy Collins,
Bootsy
George Clinton,
man,
come on. They was doing different stuff. Maggot Brain, come on. There's in Maggot Brain by the Funkadelics, the guitar is mixed only in the right headphone. It's 5 minutes long. 5 minutes long.
A lot of people, as far as for Tuesday specifically, that song, people were saying that I kind of reminded them of De La Soul.
Ooh, interesting.
So it made me kind of take a step back and say, hold on. What do I want to be as an artist? Because I never got that type of comparison before. And I kind of enjoyed that one. I really enjoyed that comparison. A lot of times I get Kendrick comparisons.
Interesting. I can see that for the diction.
Yes, but
it definitely comes off with the way that I like the end of your words. But I don't know. I'm also not a person who likes to compare people a lot.
Thank you.
Because it's like, nah, we got new music coming on the scene.
Right, man. I don't hate it, but I also don't necessarily appreciate the.
It's a weird thing to live in. It's like
right.
if somebody would come up to me and be like, "Yo, man, you remind me of Rogan." It's like, cool, but
what's going on?
It's like I'm just gonna choose to take the positives and I'm gonna walk away.
Got to take the positives and go. But as far as getting into that music space and kind of preserving that energy, I kind of look at my family and you know when I'm doing my thing as a father and as a husband, it motivates me.
Gotcha.
You know, it takes me to a different place. You know, at those nights after putting my son to bed, just having a little bit of energy left, it kind of takes me to a place.
That's dope. So you can kind of derive the creative drive straight off of that,
which
is dope because that's your life. I mean, like to grab the creativity from life is so beautiful.
Yes, indeed.
Especially when you see like in the music industry, it can be derived from so many different places. I mean, I asked this question to so many different artists and it's beautiful how many people have different answers. And it's just like to grab that from life though, that's different. That source doesn't run dry.
It doesn't. It just doesn't. And the more it promotes putting more energy into your life.
Ooh.
You know? And it becomes a cycle. The more energy I put into my own personal life, loving on my own family, the more energy I have to put into music, the more I have to say. Because it kind of gets tiring just rapping into the air. Or, you know.
It's like I can yell that I'm the best at a wall 100 times.
100 times. And the thing that sparks the creativity behind it, using that energy to be creative, is just kind of life experiences. Like I've been through a lot. Like I said, it's almost like a movie.
Putting the life on the bar. It's like getting that on wax means something.
And a lot of people would be like, "Man, who is he rapping about?" And it's like a lot of that shit is me. It's just me.
I'm it's like a lot of that is like just personal story told from the omniscient viewpoint.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just another Tuesday. You know,
and that's the best part about it. Like it all does come back to these themes or these like just points where you can definitively tell this is what you were trying to talk about. This is what you were trying to do.
Yes, indeed.
Now, all of these things that have come together to make Teddy the artist. What was the music that got you here? Were there any artists that were doing that in the past that kind of inspired you to get to there, or were there like music you grew up on that like you can kind of think back to and see like, oh, this artist was doing double disc and they was making sure it connected? Was any of that or?
Yes, indeed. Andre 3 Stacks, the way he can shift.
In a song, he could give you 3 stories. Man, Hollywood divorce.
That's
Hollywood
one of the big
divorce.
ones. The way he just kind of coasted
through. B is for Bowen Holmes.
Oh. The way he just coasted through issues in his personal life, issues within the industry, things that could have something to do with him or not.
He broke it down so crazy. In that track, he does this thing where he just raps hard at the beginning of the verse. And then right in the middle, he says, now that I've got your undivided attention, I'm gonna tell this and run. Like, he's literally like, I just had to tell you that dumb shit to tell you that you need to stack and get your money straight.
Facts.
That you need to make sure you got money for your grandkids. And now we can get back to the regular music. You want to hear some bullshit, here it is. Or even when you get to tracks like Hey Ya or Roses, where it's like, bruh, just take a little deeper listen. Stories on stories on stories.
Yep. That's specifically where I get my inspiration from, because songs like I have Poor, it's, on the surface, pour up, drink or whatever, but it's really about being poor even morally poor.
Given that double entendre from the title already.
Just have to, and it's all about presentation. Even with, there's a song Next to You that I have.
Oh man.
Like I said, I can't sing, but someone just said, just give it some feeling.
I was about to say, man, I got this thing where I don't think anybody can really sing. Because if you think somebody can't sing, then everybody can't sing.
That's true.
Because it's really just, you're trying to make some noise, and it's just like, all you got to do is make it pleasant enough for somebody to listen to.
For somebody.
And the thing is, like, most of us can't sing, but most of us can sing, if that makes sense.
Right.
Everybody who has the, vocal cords, you can make something happen.
If you can convey your emotions through your vocals, you can sing.
And I believe going to Columbia probably didn't hurt that fact. You probably get a little different when you get to the booth than the rest of us.
Columbia did not help.
They didn't help you with that?
No.
They didn't help you get that voice together when it came to the booth?
No. What Columbia did was show me what not to do.
Okay, hey, well,
which is cool. It's cool, you know. Don't
stance.
overcompress. Don't this. Don't that. But they didn't show me what to do.
I feel like if somebody from Columbia saw one of my Logic sessions, they would be like, "What is it?" I'd be like, "It gets the job done."
Some Logic, some things that we might find musically that we're attracted to musically, they'll be like, "Well, that doesn't work." It's like, oh,
that's the whole reason why I'm like, I don't even want to go to school. That ain't even. What are you talking about? If it sounds good,
but again, it really paid off as far as knowing what not to do. It really helped, you know, microphone technique, setting up studio.
I think that's half the battle. If you could, as you said, throw the feeling into the singing.
Absolutely, because even so, of course, a lot of artists, they like to just kind of grab the ball of the mic and put it right up to their mouth.
Church stance,
right.
You know?
Yes, do the church stance.
Church stance all day with that mic at your presentation.
And give the mic some air, just a little bit of room to breathe, especially if you're singing loud. So things like that came in handy, you know, because like I said, I love to just yell into the mic. So once I learned to, back off a little bit if you want to yell, now you can convey that feeling without
actually, you know, like breaking somebody's headphones, speaking on your gain, you know, stuff like that.
And I used to yell. I used to really kind of.
I'm a big fix it in post person. I fixed some crazy sessions coming from like doing just dorm room recordings, backseat of the car recordings. I feel like I could fix anything.
Oh man, see. That's powerful. Once
people be out here, and it's just like, oh yeah, no, I get that. We clean that up right out there.
Absolutely. When you start with some of the more questionable artists not questionable artists, but they have questionable techniques, recording techniques. Once you learn how to kind of fix those,
you've never recorded in front of a microphone before. Right. I could tell. Like
and then as an engineer, you take those skills, if you're able to do something with it, you just grow like substantially. If you're an engineer.
Man, hey, that's what's up, G. Now, look, I do want to talk a little bit about what's coming up next for you, what you got coming up. I know there's some music on the way. There's posts that have alluded to it.
Yes, sir.
You got a track coming out with Moon Kid.
Moon Kid, yo, this guy.
Yes, can we talk a little bit about that one?
Yes. So Moon Kid, he's another IG find. I think he heard my song Diamonds.
Okay.
And
he's rapping hard as shit. Man, gotta talk to him.
He's like, yo, I know an opportunity when I see it. He's from the UK too. Shout out to UK.
Hey, shout out
all the way from overseas.
We like that.
And he was just like, I know an opportunity when I see it. And I was blessed that anyone ever said that to me. Like, I'm an opportunity. Oh man, well, let's work. And oh man, he's conjured some vibes that I just I can't wait. So yes, we got a project coming. I'm gonna finish the Teddy Tuesday joints that I've been doing.
Oh yeah. Wait, before we even get too far, boy.
Okay, cool.
Let's talk about the singles. How could I forget?
Indeed.
Man, you've been going crazy with these Teddy Tuesdays.
You rock with them?
You've been going crazy, man.
Thank you, sir.
The time one right now is my favorite purely because of the clock. If the clock, that clock being on the wall, man, when I tell you, I watched that video and I was just like the symbolisms, the everything going on in the video. And then you had your purple tint, the trademark with that too.
Trademark
Come
purple
on,
tint.
man. Like what's the inspiration? Okay. Is that back to you and your wife as well? Is that back to
No, even though she has a lot of things to do with everything. Actually, yes. You know what? Yes, you're a genius. So I'm sorry.
Man, she is kind of involved in that one.
So anyway, my time in the Army, it was basically spent just trying to get out the hood. You know, a lot of people use music to get out the hood. For me, that was the Army. And so coming back, going to school and meeting her, these were things that was like, man, if I would have just jumped right into music, I wouldn't have met her.
Everything had to happen in this linear
time, right? And so it just kind of was a message that even though time is a man-made construct, use it wisely, right? Like it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. It doesn't matter how much time you spent doing anything else. Like today, you can do it. You can do whatever you want,
bruh. And I was so glad when the single dropped too. I needed that in my library. I was man, come on, I needed that. In my library.
I wanted to kind of hold off on the single, but a lot of people were like, yo, is this out already? And I was like...
And it was like, bro, just keep giving us these. Okay. Like, we are cool with them, man.
Definitely.
I got a couple more. Because right after like I watch them, I'm literally like, well, I'm going to watch it one more time.
Damn, I appreciate that.
And then it's like, I'm going to repost about it. That's how it always goes, man. You've been
really
going
appreciate
crazy.
that, man. And there's a couple more of those coming before the Moon Kid project. I just kind of want to get people in tune with Teddy. before like I said, with music, I don't want things to be too one way. Like,
yeah, you don't want people to get focused to that.
Right. So,
and that's the crazy part about it, because it's the whole like old adage of you don't pick your fan base, your fan base picks you, and you just got to make sure you're presenting the right way so they grab the right part, so you don't end up doing something you weren't trying to vibe with the whole time.
So, and that's why we decided to drop the single City Lights, which is more of like a house, like an electric house type of joint. And it's because, again, I didn't want to let people get too into the Teddy Thrusday joints, because they'll be super disappointed when they stop.
It's like, hey, gotta hold off on them, gotta make them different.
So, but there's some more of those coming, those singles, and then once we drop the project, we'll move ahead, and after that, I'll get back into the Teddy vibes, the Teddy show. When the actual Teddy show comes out, like I want it to be something that's timeless.
Hey man, so you're on your way there. I mean, I think giving it as much thought as what you've given it, and I mean, even the precursor of the BTS, man, like it's about to go crazy.
Yes, indeed. And what's crazy is, again, it's wild to see people shout it out, because as a musician, someone who makes music, initially I was making it for other people. I was always making something like, oh man, people gonna love this.
It's like
people
they gonna love this.
And they didn't.
I'm sorry to laugh.
It's cool because
that was the delivery that caught me, bro.
That's what pulled me into my own world.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
it's all about the timing, right?
So I mean, and that's the switch there. So I would assume now you're making the music more for yourself.
Absolutely, and from the heart, man. Even the crazy stuff.
And you see, everybody relates to that.
Absolutely.
And that's the part they think you got to rap about all the stuff the people are trying to know. You got to rap about what you know. Yep. What you feel.
It's crazy. I'll go to a show and I'll do like one of my more hype tracks that I think is like, oh man, this will get them hype. This will get them hype. And then I'll do something like Purpose or Time. And they're like, yo, that second joint was the one, bro. I'm like, what about the first?
It's like, I thought y'all wanted to, man, I thought you wanted the Kendrick, you actually wanted the Cole. Like, you wanted the introspective bars, damn, bro. Like,
and that's what really, it seems like people really enjoy it. And I enjoy people enjoying my music. I
think people want to think these days.
Right, yep.
And if you followed that sentence, then you know what I mean.
You know? It's there for those artists who do have those songs that really can touch somebody. They shouldn't be afraid, because for a while you would hear a lot, oh man, you rap boring. You're boring.
Well, it's because it's like, look, the turn up music aspect.
Yes.
Not everybody can make it.
That's true.
There are only few people who are actually good at it.
That's true.
And I think we don't tell enough people that and mean it.
Yeah.
Like, they should be like, yo, your music ain't hitting. Like, and it's like, nah, G, you just gotta, hey, your lane might be making them heartfelt tracks.
Maybe
you need to open up the heart. Maybe you don't need to be out here trying to talk about having guns and stuff and you ain't never held one, you know, type stuff.
Absolutely. That is true. That is so true. Be you.
And that's the biggest part of it, man. We might have to just end on that note. Be you out here, bro. Come on, man. Indeed. Now, look, we got a project coming up with Moon Kid. We got the Teddy Tuesdays coming back, and we got the actual Teddy Show album on the way, man. Is there anything else you want to let them know before we pop on out of here?
That's pretty much it. Definitely tune into this man's breakdowns, because they're fire. And
thank you. I don't think I've ever even mentioned them on the podcast before.
Yo, let me.
I don't think I've ever mentioned my sample breakdowns,
because like. It's the knowledge that the hip hop community needs.
Man, thank you.
It really brings that. It really brings that knowledge. It's like
it's just a nerd trying to find other nerds on the internet.
Hey,
that's really.
Hey man, we're out there.
I'm trying to use the internet for what it's meant for. To find people who are nerds like me.
Connect.
Man, that's what I'm saying. Because I've been telling my friends these sample stories since I was 12. I'm glad other people actually want to hear them.
Yes, indeed.
My friends are like, I've been hearing this for years. You just don't say it again. But that's why I started the podcast too. I needed a place to throw all this information.
And you got a lot. And I appreciate it. I'm very appreciative of the information, man.
I lock it all in. I think music is literally an art form. It's all of you all are magicians who can create it. It's so dope, man. Hey, look, thank you so much for coming on the show, my G.
Thank you.
You know we use the outro to promote an artist. I want to make sure that we get some of your music on here today, man. So what track do you want to leave them with? What we digging?
The track that I'll leave you guys with is Inspired.
Ooh, Inspired. So we're gonna hit them with Inspired. That's one of the Teddy Tuesdays.
One of the Teddy Tuesdays.
Man, I'm gonna hit them with the video on the screen too, so they can see that as well,
yes,
bro.
Indeed.
We out here, man. Thank you, Teddy, for coming on to the show. And make sure you all like, comment, and subscribe, and tune in next week for another episode.
Yeah.
Deuces.
Wasn't inspired to write a rhyme. Use that as inspiration instead of exciting times. Am I vacant? What I'm needing, I'm trying to find. Is this the definition of feeding an idle mind? Define patient. I've been waiting for newer levels. Working on myself is paying off for the mental. I needed help. You ever stare into a mirror?